Hello, friends. Hi, how are we today? I hope we're all doing well. I am here for the week of April 7th through April 13th with the kit from the Prairie Planner. The kit is called I'd Rather Be Reading. And I thought this was a beautiful kit for April. Still has sort of like the blues of like rain, but really cozy vibes. Sort of that winter, but not very wintry feel. And quite frankly, a lot of this week I spent rathering I would be reading. It was a bit of a rough week. Just a bit of a rough week in general. So we will get through that in the day by day. Just very, very quickly, I am a PR girl for the Prairie Planner, and her shop will be closed from October 24th through November the 2nd, but I really do encourage you all to go and check her out. And when she is back, just support her and use code ALEX20 for 20% off your order. If you do happen to see this before the 24th, then I would suggest that you go ahead and place an order as well. Again, you can use my code ALEX20 for 20% off your order. That will be down in the description below. So as you can see, I just went in a straight across pattern for the week. I pulled in my 2 sidebar trackers as well as the currently reading. I think one of my favorite things about Stacy's kit is that she does have that currently reading, and I don't have to add it into the side, and I feel like I'm taking up enough space. However, I did struggle with this sidebar, and I guess it was unnecessary because I didn't need to, I guess I just didn't adequately think of the placement. Like, everything was fine. I didn't need to worry about it. So then I went in, and instead of using 4 headers, I just used 3. So they went in that pattern: the dark teal, the blue, and the pink for glitter headers. I thought they brought out the kit best. I didn't love this yellow color. It definitely is not the same yellow as it looks like on screen. It's more of that like butter yellow, but I just wasn't my vibe. The rest of the kit is beautiful. The yellow was not my jam. But that's okay. That's okay. We can't love every single aspect of every single kit. That would be ridiculous. Would it? Yeah, no, it would be ridiculous, okay? So calm down, Alex. Anyway, I decided to add in 3 headers instead of my usual 2. And I don't know how I feel about it, to be perfectly honest. I think I could have definitely used the space, particularly on Thursday, but I don't know. Do we like the OG 2016 3 header look? Tell me what you think in the comments down below. Now, if you wanted to see 2 headers, you could go to my prior spread, and that was Dash of Sun Designs, and I just used 2 headers to do that kit. And I will have that up in the iCard up above. But we are nearly done here. We're just getting the last header down, and then we are putting on the date covers, and then we can move into the day by day, which is, okay, really the good stuff. So, oh man, I'm just looking at my wrists. Look, I loathe to look at myself on camera. Don't know how you guys do it, but I'm really happy that it's sweater weather and I can wear warmer clothing. But no matter how often I try and no matter how much I do, my sleeves always end up rolled up to 3/4 sleeve. I am forever a 90s and 2000s kid at heart. Okay, so let's get into the day by day. On Monday, I worked from home, so I used the squish to mark that. And then I went on a lunchtime walk, and I went for a 2-kilometer lunchtime walk. So I just pulled in an icon from the kit for that. After that, I meal prepped for the office for the next couple of days, another fox and cactus icon, and then the meal prep script is from Sweet Tea Sticker Co. This is her new font, and I am obsessed. I love it. I love that it's also smaller, and I just elected to cut it up. It came in one line straight across, but I elected to cut it up and just stack it so it took up more space, and I like how this turned out. Spade season's a tiny bit off, but I don't mind it. Then for that after work time, oh my God, for after work, I ended up meal planning for the next week as well, which I feel the latter half of this year I've gotten much better at. And then I painted my nails, so I used an icon from the kit for that. And then I used a squidge from Stick with the Plan Co. to note that I was up way, way too late on my phone on this evening. Then on Tuesday, I used a Sweet Tea Sticker Co. laptop to note that, or computer to note that I was working in my office on this day. And then I used a Paper and Milk Maru. I was just feeling really down, really in my feelings. But I still went on a lunchtime walk, 2.5 kilometers. It was a good thing that I went. I'm glad that I went. But there was a random snowstorm. So I used a Coffee Monsters Co. like blustery, blowy little circular icon. But I think that was like perfect to note the very random like snowstorm that took place. Then when I got home, I did a topical clean of our upstairs bathroom just because it was a bit messy. And then my husband painted our bedroom closet because we were getting closets installed, but they didn't paint the back of it. And the prior owners of the house had painted it purple for some ungodly reason. So my husband did that. And so for the topical clean, I used Paper and Milk Maru, and then for the closet, it was one of the stickers from Fox and Pip, and then I used another Maru from Paper and Milk just to note that I did a general tidy. Then on Wednesday, I made an effort, so I did my hair and my makeup on this day, and I worked in office, and both of the icons there are from Sweet Tea Sticker Co. And then I pulled in this pastel girl, which I think she works really well with the colors of this kit. And I just noted I was very, very, very anxious on this day. I couldn't tell you why. It was a really, really, we weren't having a great time. That evening, both of my kids had some poo emergency situations. There was a lot of using the toilet, and you may be like, it's so weird how often you mark it. Just as a reminder, my husband, not that I need to justify myself, but my husband had works and his shifts change once a year. So in this shift that he is on up until September, he had worked evenings. So I was doing dinner, bath, and bed all by myself. So when I say there are situations, there are situations. Both of the Poo Emergency stickers are from Squidge, from Stick with the Plan Co. And then my littlest went to bed or my oldest rather, went to bed extremely early on this night, which is very odd for him. And I used a Coffee Monsters Co. icon for that. And then I ate my feelings and I was feeling like a cow. So I used this moody squish from Stick with the Plan Co. And then moving on to Thursday. Oh my gosh. So on Thursday, I ended up having to use 2 day extenders. I should have used a half box in hindsight, but there was nothing that I wanted to use a half box for, if that makes sense. So let's just get into it. The first thing that I had to note was that my big guy was up all night violently ill. So I used my Coffee Monsters Co. vomit emoji for that. I genuinely could use an entire sheet of those. Helen, you'll never watch this, but if you do, I could use an entire sheet of those. And then in the morning, I got up and I washed his vomit bedding. We had extra bedding. It was a good thing, but like rough times. And then my husband had to sleep in because, you know, he works until 1 a.m. So I did the cat's litter and then I called in sick to work. So I used Fox and Cactus phone for that. And then a Sweet Tea Sticker Co. icon just to note that I emptied the dishwasher. I was like on a roll on this day. It was really good. Then I took my, no, I didn't. I walked up to the drugstore to get gravel to see if I could stop my littlest getting sick. He's never had gravel before. It worked pretty well. I wouldn't do it many times, but it worked very well in the moment. And then while he was asleep, he slept most of the day. I ended up pulling stickers for a while, so I just used an icon from the kit to note that, and then I also used a pull stickers script from Magical Sticker Co. And then when my littlest got home from daycare, I used a Lottie and her child to note that I played and had one-on-one time with my littlest. My big guy just was very, very tired. And then my littlest wanted to bake banana bread, so that is what we did, which was fine. It was not hard at all. And then I up-potted the peppers because they had grown too big. So I used a Sweet Tea Sticker Co. icon for that. And then I went on my walking pad. So I have a squish on the walking pad. And I just did 20 minutes, which was not much, but I felt like I needed it. And then my little guy went to because we were in the midst of toilet training, so he went to the toilet on the toilet. It was very exciting. And then I went down into the bottom washi, which I try not to do, but I did a general tidy and I just pulled in a vacuum from the kit. Moving on to Friday. Also, I filled Thursday out before I filled out the other 3 days because I feel like Thursday had the most on it and I would have gotten exhausted and angry if I had to fill out Thursday and then Friday and then Saturday, Sunday. So I just filled it out first. So moving on to Friday. So on Friday, another squish from Fox and Cactus and I pulled in a headache script from Sweet Tea Sticker Co. Then another squish note. I worked from home on this day. And another Coffee Monsters Co. emoji just to note that my big guy was really still quite sick. But my mom called and she was very supportive and it was very nice to have that. And then I just pulled in a star sticker. And then it was my sister's birthday on this day, so I just used a purple package from Paper and Milk, and she has loved purple all her life, so that was nice. And then in the backyard, I put soccer with the boys. It was really my little guy, but we just played soccer in our backyard. And then before bedtime, my little guy and I had a dance party. My big guy just sat and watched. He wasn't interested in being involved. And I also got Happy Meal on this day, which was from Sweet Tea Sticker Co. On Saturday, my little guy was up at 5:26 a.m. So that was rough. It wasn't that bad. But then I spent the morning just playing with the kids. And so both of those are Stick with the Planco squidges. And then I called my aunt and I used the phone icon from the kit. That afternoon, we went to pick up my order from Prairie. And then later in the day, I was like faffing about how I was going to mark this because I don't really have too many like pull sticker sheets. And I just ended up pulling the script from Magical Sticker Co. and putting it into the middle of this decorative full box or half box. And I really like how that looked. So I don't mind that. And then on Sunday, we went to Lynn Shores. It's so funny that she has a squidge feeding the duck because that's what we do. Well, we feed the birds. And then I did laundry after we got back. Then we just had a really chill family day. So I just used the chill family on the couch to note that from Stick with the Planco, and then more potty stuff for my little guy. And that was the entire week. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you're staying safe and well. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Toodles!